So here's a brief update on where I'm at. Over the last few weeks I've been working on trying to clean things up, turn this into more of a tool that people can use, and trying to really focus on getting to the point where I can release everything. But I've added some useful features along the way. You can see here the usual synth graph, the usual editor, and you can see it's actually playing, but I've disabled the output. I added an audio waveform visualizer and a spectrum analysis. I also added the ability to choose the kind of audio settings that you want, which devices you want to send the audio to. And actually there's a debug window here as well, which is showing which notes are currently being played and which synthesizers are active. So I'll just let it play for a moment, and I'm going to grab a frame on the new profiler feature here, which lets you see what's going on in the audio and the UI, which is partially for my use, but I think maybe it will also be left in for end users to see where the time's going when they're making music or visuals. So if I enable the output for a moment, so you can see while I did that I was running the profiler and we were grabbing frames from the device here. So you can see this is the GUI, currently running at 20 milliseconds, it's about 60 frames a second. I think this might be a debug build actually, so it's usually a little faster than that. This is the UI for the graph, which is this thing here at the bottom left. These are the spectrums over here, the wave UI. The spectrum UI is very quick. The wave UI is a bit longer because it's drawing more data. And this is the timeline over here. This is this thing here. And these little notches here, I forget. Oh yes, these are just individual parts of the graph here. And you can see that in another thread to the UI, we've got the audio running. At 512 frame size, it seems to be the audio capture card is asking for 2 frames. Quite in one after another quite quickly, so it's expecting, I guess, 1024 frames in order to do whatever it's doing inside the device driver for this particular setting. But if you just concentrate on one frame, you see that's the duration of the audio thread. It's about 2.7 milliseconds here. This wait here is internally the UI, the audio thread is waiting for the graphs that implement the synthesizers to finish in parallel, and currently in this particular tune there are a few things going on. There's this Vangelis synthesizer here, which is this guy here, and you can see it's made up of several parts. There's some oscillators, a phaser, delay. The reverb's quite expensive. This is the flute synthesizer, and you can see the FM operators here from the DX7 style synthesizer. This is the mandolin synth, it's quite a simple one, and the drum kit is just playing back samples, so that's very quick. So yeah, you get a sense of what's happening in each frame. There's another thread over here which is doing the audio analysis, which is basically generating the FFT here, and these are all independent of the UI. Yeah, so the profiler's turned into a very useful tool. I was using Tracy, but I had some stability issues with it, and also just the overhead of running it meant that I didn't use it as often. Building my own little profiler here means that I can really analyze what's going on and put in features that allow me to test particular things that I'm doing in a very specific way. So yeah, progress has been made on and off, and that's where I'm up to.